All right, welcome to Vodcast 1.3. This is your third Vodcast in the cells unit here. So as you can see, we'll be taking a look at plant and animal cells. We're going to look at some specifics, mainly relating to what they do and how we actually use them to build things, basically. So let's take a look real quick. Okay, the big picture here, first off, take a look. You have cells, okay? Your individual cells, such as this cardiac muscle, if you put enough of them together, you get something called a tissue. And a tissue is basically a bunch of cells, which can make up an organ, which can make up an organ system. So let's go through these in detail. First off, the cell, you should know what the heck that is by now. Okay, it's a membrane-covered structure, aka cell membrane. All right, and it contains all the things necessary for life. And that's all those organelles that you've been learning about over the past 2 weeks. Excuse me. Tissues. Okay, tissue is basically made up of a bunch of cells, and they perform a specific task, like muscle tissue actually helps you move. You can put enough of those tissues together and actually form a full organ, all right, which is 2 or more different types of tissues working together to basically do the same job, all right? In this case, the heart muscle, the muscle tissues, and the blood are working together to actually give you the nutrients that you need and provide oxygen for the body. You put enough organs together and get an organ system, such as the entire cardiovascular system, right? Pumps blood all around the body, removes toxins from the blood, it delivers nutrients to all of your cells. Key system in the body. Now, how do we organize all this stuff? Really simple. You can organize everything into unicellular and multicellular. And remember, don't go home and memorize gigantic definitions. Look for clues in the words, just like you learn about in your English classes. If you look here, unicellular, all right? Uni means one cell. And look at your definition. Organism that is made up of one cell. So over here we have a little euglena. All right, and this little guy is made up of one cell and one cell only. Now, if we look down here at our little prairie dogs, they're multicellular organisms because multi literally means many, all right? So multicellular organism is made up of many cells, okay? And they can't exist without all the cells working together. Sure, you lose some cells every single day, but your body replaces them. But you couldn't take off a little skin cell and then go, okay, you're free, little guy, go live life. It's not going to work. He's going to die very quickly because he needs the other cells that are in the body to survive. Now, types of cells. You have prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Simply put, the only thing that is prokaryotic is bacteria. And they're pretty funny looking. So if you look right here again, you will notice that literally they have a cell wall, cell membrane, DNA hanging out inside, ribosomes. That's really it. Some have these little flagellas coming out the back that allow them to swim. But beyond that, there's no membrane-bound organelles at all inside, as opposed to your cells, which are eukaryotic. You've got all the membrane-bound organelles, like the ER and the Golgi and the mitochondria, all right? You have a lot of these, the nucleus. Bacteria don't even have a nucleus. So you have all these things that they don't have. Another hint, you are eukaryotic. All right. Cruising through these. On to the next thing, cell processes. Just watching this person run makes me tired. Okay, to stay alive, cells must, you gotta do a couple of the following things. First off, you gotta produce energy. So some will do that on their own, like plants. Plants produce their own energy. You have to produce your energy by getting it from other organisms, such as other plants or other animals. All right, you gotta process the waste. You need to transport materials. And most importantly, you need to maintain homeostasis. So metabolism. We're going to be doing a little experiment with metabolism that you'll be designing next week, all right? And that's going to be dealing with cell respiration. Now, basically, metabolism is eating your food, digesting your food, and getting rid of the waste. It's all 3. When you digest the food, you go through a process called cell respiration. This is where you're going to use oxygen, so you breathe in, you eat food. Sorry, Bell. Okay, so anyway, so you eat food, all right, and then you're going to produce a couple things. You breathe out. You breathe out CO2 gas, carbon dioxide. You don't want that to poison for your body. You also breathe out water vapor, all right? So, camera probably fogged up a little bit. So you actually do breathe out water vapor, all right? And last but not least, you get energy, and that's what you actually need, all right? So that is the process of cell respiration. You breathe in, you eat. In return, you breathe out CO2, you breathe out H2O, and you actually make energy. Almost done. Transportation, okay. You'll look at this one in a lot more detail in high school, but just to keep it simple, transport happens through your cells, okay? Your cell membrane is not a solid wall. It actually has holes, just like you see here. Things can pass right through, as you look down here, things will actually pass right through this cell membrane, all right? And basically, cells are going to transfer materials. Typically, water passes through the cell membrane. Larger molecules actually need to go through a whole separate process, which you will talk about in the living environment. All right, and last, homeostasis. Now, before I mention this is body temperature, it's a little bit more than just body temperature, okay? All cells, whether they're single-celled organisms like protists, have to maintain homeostasis, all right? Which, in textbook definition, is maintenance of a stable environment. Basically, the cell needs to stay happy, all right? Everybody likes a happy cell. Nobody likes a grumpy, angry cell. So, for you, that means keeping proper body temperature. It also means taking in the right amount of nutrients, processing those nutrients, all right? Having your cells function properly, getting rid of waste that you don't need, and also having a healthy immune system. And the list can go on and on and on. Because you know that when you're sick, your body temperature can go up. When your body temperature goes up, that affects something called an enzyme. When your enzymes don't work, you can't process things properly and you feel like garbage. So you can see how this can cascade down. So when that body temperature thing gets kicked off, it messes everything else up. But in a simpler creature, same deal, they have to maintain homeostasis also, right? So that's a quick snapshot of all your cells and cell processes. Pretty much will be done. You'll see all this stuff again next to your living environment. They'll go into a lot more detail on the cell processes. They'll also go into a lot more detail on things like diffusion, osmosis. Some other things that we didn't get to talk about this year, but you will see next year soon enough. All right, remember, make sure you guys get these all copied down. Make sure you put them in your proper Cornell note-taking format, and I will be checking them later on next week. All right, I hope you guys have a good weekend. Signing off. I know it wasn't the most exciting one, but we needed to get it done and get it in there. All right.